aren't ideal, and it involves family members, you'll hear it from your family that, well, gee, we know it's you, and why did he do that? Well, you know, it's really not me. It's Richard, not me. But I did get some grief from my wife's family about the way Richard treated his wife that he left behind when he went into the past. I got a lot of grief over dinner one night. They were all very supportive. They read the book. We all went to dinner for, I forget, someone's birthday or something. And I sat back, ordered my drink, relaxed, and somebody said, all right, now about Richard. And that was it. That started.
Well, and then you go, it's fiction.
But they loved it. They liked, you know, they liked the general attitude of the book. Maybe not all of Richard's behavior.
So let's give some tips to those potential writers out there. How did you publish?
In this particular instance, as you and I talked earlier, I was somewhat spoiled, having written 2 history books, written proposals, and smaller presses specializing in that type of book both picked me up. This one I failed. I did an extensive mailing campaign to agents, marketers, publishers, and everything like that. Couldn't get anything, so I ended up going with first edition design publishing.
Tom Gay.
Print on demand. It's self-publishing. There are a number of different names for these days.
Right.
But surprisingly affordable to do it, really. I'm surprised about that. Forgetting marketing packages and the like. For another writer out there that has a novel idea kicking out, I think you can do it for about $600 or $700. I think you've probably seen the same numbers, right? So it's not so prohibitive. You're talking about original cover art. I had my own idea for a cover, and they incorporated some elements of that, but they did this, and they sent me the proof of this. And I think I said, I hate that you people are so right about all of this. I like mine, but yours is really great. It does the job. So I was very happy with that. So you're getting original cover art, and they'll print out your supposedly print-ready manuscript. And there you've got it. It's a nice professional job. You know, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, and I think the distinction that you made between nonfiction and fiction is important. If you have a niche with nonfiction, it's much easier to get published. Traditionally.
The second book, you mean, or if you've before, or?
No, even the first book of nonfiction.
Oh, having a nonfiction.
Yeah,
okay.
Nonfiction. No, fiction. Nonfiction is, if you have a niche, is easier than fiction. Fiction is very difficult, and one of the things that I always try to tell people is that the industry is contracted, and there are very few publishing companies now, and one of the pieces of advice I give is to find a book in your genre, open it up, look at the acknowledgments, and oftentimes the author will give their agent. And then all of the agents have a website, so you just Google them, their website comes up and you see submission guidelines. I think even if you want to self-publish, I think that's an interesting exercise, simply because you learn a lot from it. You learn what agents want, what publishers want. Even the publishing houses have these. Everything's on the websites today, so you don't even have to talk to anybody. And but I also say, if you're young, then you should go to the traditional route, because it takes a pretty long time. But if you're, for instance, for me, it was a second career. I didn't want to wait. I wanted to get these books out, and I'm having fun with them. And it's what's important to you.
It was about the fun. In my case, now with 3 of them to my credit, I think a lot of it was about legacy. I've got 7 grandsons, and I thought just maybe someday somebody will sit back and go, you know, Grandpa was really pretty cool after all. Look at that. He wrote a couple of books. So that was a big part of it. One of my grandsons, well, I have an older grandson, he read it already. He liked it a lot. His younger brother, who's 20, I have grandsons in the 18-month range up to 23 years old. So I hope they all read it at some point. The Landmarks book, I guess he was about 5 then. My one grandson announced to his family that was his favorite book. You know, that Grandpa wrote this book. That was his favorite book. I think he was sleeping with it even too for a while.
Oh, that's so cute.
So it was a lot of it about just kind of leaving something behind.
That's how I felt.
Right?
I don't have any grandchildren, and my heroine, because my books are a series, my heroine is my grandchild. My books are my grandchildren, and I'm trying to get them into schools. I have some success with that, because.
So you have one granddaughter, Aunt Hillary.
Yeah, that's her. That's her. She's pretty cool. So what do you find is most successful in marketing so far?
I'm old school. I do a lot of, I've done direct mail. I recently started because of, I think, the things that you talked about at maybe one of the presentations you did I went to. And I'm kind of a throwback as far as social media, but I've gotten more involved. But the Glendale book, I found a website about people who went to my old elementary school, put a blurb up there about it on the website, bang, 2-3 dozen books sold right off the bat. You can tell from the Amazon numbers, and people coming back on the website with comments and that they were ordering and buying it. I did some of that with the Long Island book to a lesser extent, like at Greenport and places like that. The Long Island book, I've had virtually 3 years of doing talks where people have bought it at the end of the talk or taken a flyer with them and then ordered it afterwards. I could see that the public exposure always generated sales on that
Oh,
book.
sure. It's a niche. And once you find out who your audience is, for instance, in your borrowed time, in your fiction book, you have to think about who your audience is.
It's tough, it's really not, it's science fiction in
What about your doctor?
The characters are in there. Yeah,
Office,
my hematologist was in there.
But his office, he could have a little display in his office?
Yeah, I used a couple of doctors in there. I did, and I drew from experience. The one doctor in the book is a doctor I did see for years. We had this relationship over Italian cars. We both were enthusiasts.
But yeah, I know. I read that in the book. Also, oncology centers where people are going for treatments, and sitting there for hours with an infusion.
Get a copy in the lobby or get flyers in the lobby?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if they have a library, because people are sitting there for hours, with the infusions and whatnot.
Right.
That's,
you can give away a lot of books, as I'm sure you know.
Well, you can give them away, but you can also,
and hope there's a
leave one
payback.
and hope somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I have doctors that have taken the books, the novel particularly, and but the social media thing with those two books, I was looking for. I've tried to push borrowed time in like a Greenport blog and things like that. I don't know if there's any result of that yet, though. Clearly, as you say,
Very hard to tell.
yeah, they really are. Who do you go to? I've been approaching science fiction websites lately, and it's listed on a bunch of them too. But and I'm a science fiction fan, but science fiction, a lot of it is swords and spaceships, which seems to me contradictory. And I'm a little too old for that. and I don't know if they see that as their audience, then they're not going to be attracted to something there's a little more relationship storyline to it.
I would try just looking into the various aspects of the medical field, especially that which,
That's a great tip. I will
which
look into that.
treats cancer. We have about a minute left. What advice do you have for authors?
Do it. That's probably the basic thing.
Yeah.
How many people do you run into when you're authors as we are, and everybody says, "Oh, I'd like to do that," and really always meant to do that.
I have this great story, but how do you write a book?
Happened to me a couple of days ago. To everywhere you go, anybody you talk about that, and a new neighbor, have a new neighbor. We got to talking about retirement, careers, and everything. Told him what I did. He said, "I've got to do that." So I would say to the authors out there, do it. Do it over the winter when there's less to do when you're stuck in the house, but definitely do it.
I would like to find another term for retirement, because most of the people I know who have retired are really not retired. I don't feel retired. Do you feel retired?
Not really. With the speaking engagements, that's become kind of a second career, I guess, in a sense. But how about chapter 2?
Yeah.
Maybe that's been done. I don't.
Yeah,
think I'm that
chapter
clever.
2 is a play by.
Well, I don't think I'm that clever to come up with that.
No, but I'm sure if we think about it. In fact, I think I'm going to do that now. I'm going to ask all my authors what's
Good
their
idea. Great. That'd be fun.
retirement. But I wish you the best of luck with
Thank
this. And I know this is a great book, and I've read into this book, and now that I know it's time travel, probably will read it.
Good. I hope you have fun with it. Let me know.
So thank you so much for coming.
Thanks
Mel.
for having me. Always great to see you, Linda. Thank you.
Yep. Great.